Does it prick your conscience? Does it really? Yeah, just for me, I should have put this to you because you're such a marketer and I know you. So today we are not going to get you to sweat, but please think about some of those things.
No, you want me to start sweating, and I think I had done pretty well. If I was to answer the questions in a methodical way from the co-chair and the majority leader, he spoke about, other than the hinges, these other items, what is the policy intervention? One, what we have done is we have identified the 69. Number two, we have standardized them. It's very, very important. Why standardization? You know, in Kenya, we don't have a standard door. We don't. Because a door in Kenya is basically the space that you leave after you finish building your house. Meaning that you must get a fundi to come and customize your door. And if we continue on that line, we will never be able to benefit from the large economies of scale. So it is important that, first of all, we standardize, and we have done the standard. We have come up with what is called a Juakali manual, which is available. We have given it to them, and with the standards for those 69 items. The next thing is to take this thing to Parliament so that it becomes now entrenched. We are discussing with our committee whether it is going to be as a bill or as a policy. I understand that there is somebody who had brought in a bill in Parliament. We'll see whether we can be able to ride on it. Your Excellency, the Honorable Vice Chair, I think when we talk about the housing levy being an investment in ourselves, we are actually not. We're not using it incorrectly. We are investing in ourselves. And how do we invest in ourselves?
But is it a tax? You need to come out clearly.
It is a tax. Yeah.
So why do you call it a levy in your presentation?
A levy is a tax.
A levy is a tax. There's no difference.
Actually, just go take the definition of a levy from Wiki and what do you call it? Wikipedia. It is a tax. Okay.
And the CS calls it an investment. It's a bit confusing.
The effect is an investment. We're investing in ourselves, okay? Because we are taking that money and putting it in productive sectors that are going to be very important in the creation of jobs.
But Mr. Hinga, let's be clear. You say a levy is a tax.
Yes.
Now, my own understanding, we've heard it from here, from various presenters, a task, if it is a housing tax, then everybody, irrespective of who they are, will be subject to that tax.
Correct.
To tax. But if it's a levy, then you can even go on a voluntary basis. Those who want to, because there are people, for example, who are in their 60s, going to retire, or may have retired, and they're paying a housing tax. So they ask themselves, how will this benefit me? Because I'm just about to retire. But if it is a tax, and they, of course, they have to pay. And that is a punitive aspect that Eugene was talking about. Yeah.
I think from the PS, the CS's presentation is calling it an investment. An investment can be voluntary. And, according to the priority of either that teacher, that lawyer, that doctor, that policeman. But what is oppressive about this is that you must pay it as an employer. It's cutting both ways,
yep,
including people losing their jobs because they can't sustain this.
Correct.
Yeah. The CS didn't just refer to it as an investment. He actually qualified it further and said that this is an investment, not a tax.
Not a tax.
Yes.
Please help us understand.
Not a tax. Now you are contradicting your own senior colleague there.
I said I'll come and rectify that because it's right up. Let me come at my turn to try and rectify that.
Yeah, but as of now, we are hearing from Bwana Hinga that this is a tax.
This is a tax.
And in fact, the CS actually called it an intervention. I heard you say it's an intervention. I knew it was a tax. Everybody knows it was a tax when we dropped it as an issue of a saving, it was immediately communicated on Parliament as a tax. So I don't know where that misunderstanding has come from the last day of this presentation.
Okay, and
let's clarify. This housing levy is based on an amendment to the Employment Act.
Correct.
So it cannot be a tax.
It is a levy, which is a tax.
This is one government, but you are mixing us. The taxation was done through amendment to the Employment Act. So it cannot, yeah.
All right.
Which is which?
I will leave the CS Treasury to handle the issue of the tax because I don't want to speak out of turn. Now, so the question was, you gave a very good example, the Honorable Excellency Co-Chair, about Egypt. And I think that's a very good example. But I don't know whether you've realized that for Egypt to be where they are today, in the year 2014, they made a determination to go on the same journey that we are starting today. They built new cities. They built, how many units they built? Is it 1 million? Huh? They've done between 700 and 1 million units in the last, since 2014, the last 9 years. So you're right. But we cannot say we now take our jobs to Egypt.
Not by overtaxing Egyptians.
No, there is a tax.
The context was different, but please continue. I don't want you to sweat for sure.
No. Sweating is biblical according to my CS. So, I'm just, anyway,
overtaxing is also biblical. You heard of the donkey who spoke to Balaam.
I think you need to be fair to Hinga. Yeah, just let him answer the questions.
Okay.
Yeah, and then let the other clarities, whether it's a tax, whether it's not a tax, be given. And we then come and make recommendations as is, because we are really trying to ridicule a few things here.
Yeah.
So we also avoid many distractions as he's speaking, kindly.
Thank you. So the journey that Egypt took is a journey that we want to take. I know a lot of people say, don't talk about Singapore. Because in the 1960s, it's the same journey they took today. 90% of all Singaporeans live in a publicly delivered house. The issue of using the levy, again, is not unique to Kenyans. We have benchmarked widely. Any country that has ever resolved their housing issues, there has got to be ring-fenced capital. There has got to be long-term capital. So that's why if you go to Mexico, and I know there are some bad examples in terms of Mexico that we have also benchmarked and seen some of the things we must avoid doing. So Mexico has the levy. If you go to our neighbors, Nigeria, they have a levy. China has a levy. We can have a whole study that is actually uploaded. If only we can download and read. The entire benchmarking study is already been given. Now, I think the Honorable Co-Chair, you asked a very fundamental question. That the cost of establishing a manufacturing plant in Kenya is expensive. Now, but I also think